And we're back. So this is part 2 of our most recent book haul. We'll link part 1 down below, and as usual, all the other book hauls and stuff that I mentioned down below as well. But we're going to get right into it because, again, a lot of books. So I'll start because I think I have more. So this book is called City of Broken Magic by Mira Bolander. And this is actually the ARC, the Advanced Reader copy. I saw Mira speak at the Wisconsin Book Festival. Tor, the publisher, was awesome enough to send the store ARCs. So we got this for free, and Mira was such a good speaker. I'm really excited to read this. It's essentially about a magical world where there are non-magical humans that have to clean up magical bombs.
Wow.
Yeah, really cool. And so it's got it signed by Mira and everything.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice signatures.
I'm excited about this.
Cool. My first one is a recommendation of our good friend Billy Callis. This is Indian Givers by Jack Weatherford. I kind of have a little bit of a series in our library on Native Americans, both North and South, and the history of European interaction, the subsequent destruction of their cultures, and that's what I have to this point. This book is kind of what Native peoples in the Americas have given since European contact over the last 500 years or so. So I'm really interested to see those different things. In the other works that I've read, there's been a lot of discussion about the philosophy of essentially the Western Hemisphere prior to European contact and how a lot of that was lost. And so I want to see what wasn't lost. And so I'm really curious to read this. So thank you, Billy.
My next book, oh, there was a bookmark in there,
Nah.
Is Barbary Station by R.E. Stearns. This was something I saw Sam from Thoughts on Tomes talk about, and she had me at Space Pirates. So
Nice.
I'm actually really excited about this. This has been on my list for a while. So I heard Space Pirates, and then my mind kind of went blank, so that's all I know.
Huh.
And so I'm really excited about it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. This is another gift from Granny Marie. Thank you. Little Ice Age by Brian Fagan. So, being kind of a student of climate change science, it's always interesting to get the full picture. So this has to do with, from about 1300 to 1850, we had a slight dip in global average temperatures, we're pretty sure, by a lot of different things. And so this is, I don't exactly know what perspective this is going to take, how climate change, or how climate made history. We'll see. I really don't know what to expect, but I'd love to learn more. So, yeah, Little Ice Age.
So my next book is part of a series that I've been reading for a number of years. It's by Patricia Briggs. The title is Silence Fallen, and it's part of a Mercy Thompson series. It's urban fantasy, which I really like. So Mercy Thompson is like a Native American shapeshifter, kind of like one of the last of her kind. There's a lot of werewolves and stuff. And I really like how Patricia Briggs has written this character. So I'm excited to continue on.
Excellent. We have another one from Granny Marie. This is something we'll be doing, hopefully very shortly, living off the grid. So a simple guide to creating and maintaining a self-reliant supply of energy, water, shelter, and more.
Ooh.
Sounds awesome.
Maybe they have gray water stuff.
Absolutely. I'm hoping they do. So we want to do gray water. We're talking about solar. Obviously, we live in Arequipa, so that's a thing. So kind of excited to see little nuggets that are in this guy.
Yeah.
Things that we can apply to our next home.
Cool. So I have 2 books next that are part of a series. It is by J. Kristoff. The first book is Nevernight, and the second book is God's Grave. I don't know a whole lot about this, but it's been talked about a lot on the booktube. So I think it's a trilogy. I don't think the third book's out yet, but it's about a woman who has been accepted into a school of assassins. And that is just right up my alley. I love things like that. Badass women. So I'm really excited to read these, but I have a feeling I'll probably put it off because I know the third book's not out yet, and so that means a lot of waiting. So
waiting hurts sometimes.
We'll see, but I'm really, this has been on my list for a really long time. I say that about everything, but it has.
She hasn't had long lists
Oh my
for
gosh.
a long time.
Yeah.
This one I don't know a heck of a lot about, other than the fact that it's tangentially about climate change. But it's a novel about a scientist, a climate scientist, and kind of his personal and professional intrigues.
It's fiction?
It's fiction. Ian McEwan is someone who wrote one of my favorite stories, Atonement. And so I'll be interested to read this. I really don't know what to expect. Haven't done much in the way of reading in fiction around climate change, so that'll be kind of interesting.
Yeah. On a side note, fiction about climate change, I've been listening to a podcast called LeVar Burton Reads. Please listen to it. It's so good.
Awesome.
But the last one I listened to was called What It Means When a Man Falls from the Sky, and I forget the author. But it was really, really, really good, and it was fictional about climate change in the future. So, side note. But so my next book is a beast.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. This is really intimidating, to be honest. I adore Brandon Sanderson. He's amazing. So this is Oathbringer. It's the third book in the Stormlight Archives series. I've read the first one, which I think is called The Way of Kings. But it's been a while now. I'm probably going to end up rereading it so I can reread the whole trilogy all at once. But man, look at my face.
They're monsters. They're monsters.
But I just love him. And he does such good work. So I'm excited and terrified about this book and its size. Yeah. So.
Okay. Yeah. My last three here are kind of about the dangers of the 21st century, kind of going along with Yuval Harari's books. This is Four Futures, Life After Capitalism by Peter Fraze. So I think it's what the title suggests. The economic systems in the world are either going to undergo a change or we are. Maybe both. So I'm very interested to see what these four futures are. One of them is death.
Oh, nice. Everyone dies.
Everyone dies. I don't know. I really don't know. This is probably the book I'm reading next, so I'm pretty excited about it.
This is a book I'm excited about as well. I'm just excited about books. But it's a series that I've been reading for a long time. It's by Charlene Harris. It's called Sleep Like a Baby. It's the Aurora Teagarden mystery series. So if you're familiar with Charlene Harris from the Sookie Stackhouse books, it's the same Charlene Harris, except this is just a mystery series. No fantasy, no vampires, just good old-fashioned mystery. And these books are actually really, really good. I don't know why I was so surprised, but sometimes I'm skeptical of mysteries because I can usually figure out who done it, But most of these have kept me guessing, and this is, I don't know what number it is in the series, but there's a lot. So this is, I think, the most recent one that's been out, so it'll be good to read.
Nice. This is another recommendation from Mr. Jeff Babula. The Power of Moments by Chip Heath and Dan Heath. I think they're brothers. Don't really know. But Jeff has been talking about one of the lessons from this book that has absolutely fascinated me. And again, this is in the context of the work that we're doing here in Peru, kind of how important it is, obviously. And this is something that we're all kind of coming out of as part of, 20th century development. Now 21st century development is of a different brand. Taking huge stock in what local communities want, what they need, what they know, how they understand problems, how we interact with them when we're attempting to deliver resources and assistance. And so he talked about, just really quickly, an organization put in latrines, these beautiful latrines, and it was going to solve everyone's sanitation issues, and then they were just gone. Within 6 months, they were just dismantled and taken away because the latrines were nicer than people's homes. And so, there's so many lessons, obvious lessons. I think we think of them as obvious lessons now, but I'll be curious to read some of these lessons here as we kind of apply those lessons to our work here in Peru.
So, I have another Brandon Sanderson book, and to be honest, I don't know much about it. It's a novella from the Stormlight Archives, but Edge Dancer came out, and whenever I see anything by Brandon Sanderson that comes out, I don't care. I buy it because I know I'm gonna love it. Like that's
the thing.
That's it. So that's all I know, but I'm sure I'm gonna love it.
Nice. My last one. This title isn't intimidating at all. How Democracies Die. A lot of doom and gloom in my series here.
I thought you were an optimist.
I am an optimist. How Democracies Die. Stephen Levitsky and Daniel Ziblatt. So I have heard this book referenced many, many times in the last year. You know, a lot of political scientists that I follow are saying this is the book to read. There are so many challenges that we have now to kind of liberal democracies around the world. Liberal democracy is under attack, for better or for worse. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm curious to see what this prescribes and what it describes, because it's we're undergoing a massive transition in the world right now, politically, socially, environmentally, everything, economically. And there's just so much to read, and so How Democracies Die is going to be one of the next few books I read.
My last books.
Oh man.
Who could have predicted it?
Oh boy.
I have to finish with Token, of course.
Of course.
So I mentioned in the last video that our friends Jeff and Sarah came to visit, and I'll link that video down below. They were kind enough to bring books, and they surprised me, which was so nice. They surprised me with The Fall of Gondolin. So this is like a prequel, I guess you could call it, to The Lord of the Rings.
It's like folklore for Lord of the Rings,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And so Tolkien's son has been kind of going through his works and releasing the things that haven't been released yet. So I think there's 3 books that he has released that are like this. Another one is Beren and Luthien. So I'm just so excited to read these. I recently reread the Lord of the Rings books.
Which you just were over the moon about.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I'm so excited to like delve into the world a little bit more.
Nice.
And these are such nice copies.
Yeah.
So thank you, Jeff and Sarah, for bringing this. And then, of course,
yes.
I couldn't help but buy this one myself to go along with it. So I'm just excited.
Excited is our main adjective.
Yeah. So that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, so there'll be more. There's always more.
Yeah.
In fact, next weekend, I believe, there's a literature festival here in Arequipa. So who knows, man? Oh.
That video may be posted before this one.
Right. Maybe.
So I hope you enjoyed it if it's posted.
Yeah, if you have any questions about any of the books we're reading or kind of what's been on our list over the last few months, give us a comment.
We always want to talk about books.
Oh, absolutely.
Let us know.
Yeah. See you next time.